Hey, welcome to the Raw Food Health Empowerment Show. This is the finale of season 1, and I just want to say thank you all for joining me on the first season of my Facebook live show. It's been a ton of fun, a huge learning experience for me, but it's nice to have a creative outlet where I can just, talk to you guys and hear you in real time on, the questions you have about these varying topics. And if there are any topics that I haven't addressed that you would like to address, you would like me to address, or just talk about, put them in the comments below. I'm going to talk a little bit later about what's coming up on the show for season 2. I'm super excited. 2018 is going to be amazing. I just want to take a moment to express not only gratitude to all of you for being on this journey with me, but gratefulness for all of the blessings that 2017 brought. Last year, this time, my husband and I closed our juice bar that we had running for 7 years, and that was very emotional. Earth Healing Cafe was our baby, and we devoted the majority of our 20s to that business, and it was a good change. It was one I was grateful for, and at the same time, I was very angry about it as well. So those are still emotions that still live within me, but they're definitely a lot smaller than 12 months ago. But that happened, and then we vowed that that would be the last winter, finally, that we would spend in Chicago. Chicago winters are tough. They're long, they're cold, they're dark. And we were just not feeling it. So we moved here to Los Angeles, and I'm happy to be here. But while we were there, Chicago, I want to say, thank you to Chicago for really helping me grow up, and it was a tough ride. It was a happy ride, an exciting ride. I definitely felt like I grew a lot in many different ways in Chicago. So Chicago will always have a place in my heart. There's a lot of things going on there. Not only is it in my heart, but it's also in my prayers, because Chicago needs a lot of prayer on many different levels. The businesses there need prayer. The people in communities that are dealing with lots of violence, they need prayer. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. The people in government need prayer just to, for God to help them manage that money properly, because it's affecting everyone. So, here at rawfoodmealplanner.com, we talk about health and wellness, and that other stuff is kind of tangent. At the same time, it does affect the well-being of our emotional self, our spiritual self, our mental self. So, it's all connected, it's all related, and you'll see more of that as we progress in the show. Different topics that come in, that's all relative. And we'll talk about that more today too, like kind of how, I plan out my 2018. What I look at, it's not just about what I'm eating, how I'm exercising, all that kind of stuff. It's also how I'm thinking, how I'm living, how I'm being. And I want to give a shout out to my close friend, also therapist, Candice Wu. She did a guest blog on rawfoodmealplanner.com, and the link for that is in the description to this video, where she talks about her process for how she brings in the new year. And there's some points she brought out that I really want to touch on, like the ones that really touch me and that I want to, talk about, the 3 biggest takeaways for me and how they're relevant to me in my life. But definitely read the blog. She has 6 steps that she goes through. And me personally, like what I typically do every year around this time, and that's why I love it so much, because I'm a huge planner. But I love to plan. So what I do is I sit down and I look at the 12 different areas of life, which I talked about probably back in 2016 on the blog, health, environment, that could be your home or your neighborhood, your spirituality, food, exercise, career, finances, what else is there? Social life. And there's 3 others that I'm missing right now. But I basically look at all of that and I assess, okay, how has God blessed me over the past year in these areas, right? And I must say I didn't get to finish about 2017. Not only did I receive blessings of getting away from a future and a situation that was not working for me anymore, and a city that wasn't working for me anymore, moved into Los Angeles, which what I love about Los Angeles is that the wintertime here is like, spring or fall in Chicago. So the weather is better for me. The sun is just abundant, the greenery, the trees. I really love and appreciate all these things. And so I'm happy and blessed and feeling great to be here. I wrote a book this year. You Can Afford to Be Healthy. And this was a labor of love. And I'm fortunate and grateful for Kathy Wheeler, who was my book coach during that process. I started this live show. I'm happy and grateful for Stephanie Liu, who was my coach and my coach, accountability partner, friend throughout this whole process, and has been just to get the show started, and with all the little hiccups that happen along the way, just having someone to talk to, and the whole community, the whole Lights Camera Live community, all the friends that I've built in there to help this go, and all my live streaming friends who are talking about some amazingly great things. And the great thing about it is that, there's this whole thing going on TV, on mainstream media with the Kardashians and the Black China and all that. Like, honestly, there are people who are dying, right? They need this information. They're dying either physically or spiritually, emotionally. Real topics need to be discussed. And I canceled my cable a while ago because I found that I was more productive without it. I found that the money was not worth it. So I put, that money into my business. I put that time into my business, and it's growing. And not only did that change feed my business, but it also fed me personally. And I talked a lot about that in my book as well. But that's why I just love technology. I love everything that's happening. I love the resources that are available to us right now. So we can actually talk about issues that affect us and affect our community, and not waste our time on what's being fed to us that, is not helping us grow on any level. You know what I'm saying? Watching Black China and what she's doing is not helping us grow on any level. So to me, it's just a complete waste of time. If you want to relax your mind, watch whatever you want to watch. I'm not judging, but I'm just saying, like, it wasn't for me, and I'm just, happy for this medium to express and just have these conversations and grow this community of like-minded people who want to talk about stuff that actually matters. So I know I've been seeing some people on. Just give me a like, give me a heart so I can see that you're here, or comment. This Ecamm, I'm using Ecamm, and they did an update, so things look really different here. So I want to make sure too I could see your comments. But yeah, so anyway, so going back to my process. So I look at all these areas. How have I been blessed in the past year? Hi, Miss Grace. How you doing? Ooh, I love this, because this thing, like from my view, has changed so much. I can see so much on here, and it's so much cleaner. So thank you, Ecamm. Another entity I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for Facebook. I'm grateful, just so grateful. 2017 has been an amazingly fun year. I've learned, I've grown, I've met a lot of people, and I'm going to be meeting exponentially more in 2018. And I will talk about that a little later. So let's not get sidetracked. So I go through all these areas of my life. How have I been blessed, and how would I like those areas to evolve in the new year? And I have my little journal. Like this year, I have so many journals. It's crazy. I don't have my journal out here with me right now, but, of course, it's pretty. It has to be pretty to inspire me to write. But, I write in there basically what I want and my goals and all of that. And it's not only in my journal, but it's also in my planner, which I do have here, which has a whole bunch of stuff on it. Don't want to have private information on the top, but, I have my planner, which has my goals in there also. And so I plan that out. But the tips that Candace talks about on the blog, and again, that link is in the description, really, you should incorporate that into that process as well, because it takes you on a deeper level. It's not just superficially, okay, I want to lose 5 pounds. I want to eat vegan. It's like, well, what hasn't worked for you before, right? So one of the things that she talks about, clear what drains you and limits you, right? And I love that. That was like my takeaway from the first point. And how that's manifest in my life is, let's talk about nutrition wise, right? So I'm going to get real with you guys. Rawfoodmealplanner.com. I started, 2014, and I was basically just putting out there how I was eating. I was getting a lot of questions at the store. What do you eat every day? How are you doing this or whatnot? So I put meal plans together, and at the time they were completely raw. That's what I was into. That's what I was doing. Then it evolved into high raw, cause that's what I was into. That's what I was doing. Plus I found that, my following was growing and beyond the store, right? And most people aren't going to just go from eating the standard American diet to eating 100% raw. It just doesn't usually happen. So I did that. And even from there, I've evolved. So like I've talked about this a few times on the show, that, as you go through different stages of your life, what your body needs changes. And so, right now, my diet looks different, looks a little different. I mean, it's not dramatically different, definitely plant-based. But I've gone back to some foods that I used to eat. And I think it has to do with all the changes in my life, all the growth that's happening. So to have some kind of food that's still healthy, but more in the comfort realm, that's linked to my childhood, it's feeding me physically and emotionally. So that's where I find the balance, and beating myself up for it, or getting on myself, oh, you're not doing it you should be doing this, or you shouldn't be doing that, or whatever, that no longer works for me. I'm my best friend. I have to look out for Sam first. And this is what I'm doing. And I know I'm not going to stay there long, because personally, like if I don't have a certain amount of vegetables every day, I feel hungry, and it's nonstop. It's like I have to eat. I need more. Because I know the nutrition in the vegetables is what's actually feeding me, because otherwise I feel hungry. But for right now, there's stages. So typically right now, I have a whole ritual in the morning. So I have hot chocolate in the morning, which is basically almond milk, hot cocoa, cocoa powder, and I'm using agave, which I have had written off for a long time. But I'm allowing myself to consume it. I don't have any health issues. And, I'm consuming an amount of agave that is not going to be detrimental to my health. So I'm being okay with that. I'm not putting myself in these rigid rules and boxes. So is what I'm trying to say. I'm understanding where I am and, not being as strict with myself. So the almond milk, hot, cocoa powder or raw cacao, and agave and cinnamon. That's my hot chocolate in the morning, and I'm really enjoying it. And then 2 hours after that, I have my oatmeal. And oatmeal is something I've talked about a lot. I used to have a hot breakfast all the time growing up, because Jamaicans love to start their day with a hot breakfast. That's just what we do, So, I know for my American friends, it was kind of strange to see me having cereal with hot milk instead of cold milk like everyone else was doing. But that's just how I grew up, and that's, what felt good to me. So, for a long time, since I've been vegan, the majority of that space, I've been doing 80-10-10 high raw or raw. And so I would start my day with a smoothie or fruit and stuff like that. And so since I've gone back to this, since it's gotten a little colder, even though it's not Chicago cold, it's still kind of chilly, in Los Angeles right now. It's like 40 something degrees. So, since that happened, and with the change, it's Christmas time. I'm not going to be with my mom and dad this year. And, around this time, my grandma was alive. You know the whole story if you read my book. So this is a time in December, I need comfort, and that oatmeal is my comfort food. And right now it's a non-negotiable, and I'm okay with it. I know there's nothing in there that's going to be hugely detrimental to my health. I do know when I have oatmeal, I tend to gain a couple pounds. I fill out my pants a little more, which I've talked about a lot before. And yes, it's still happening now. But at the same time, I'm still at 127 right now, which is definitely healthy for my height. I'm 5'3". So, I'm monitoring myself. I'm not going to go overboard and go crazy, but still keeping that in mind. So I'm okay with where I am. But just all that to say that, if you find that it's our time for black cake, yes, and sorrel. So for me, my version of we actually did a raw sorrel at the store. I want to say the last year or second to last year. But what I've been doing now is I've been having a lot of the GTS kombucha hibiscus. So that's kind of like my version. Just because it's quick and easy and, it tastes really good. But yeah, so clearing what drains you and what limits you, having the freedom and flexibility. If you know that you're eating clean and eating healthy for you, right? You don't have any pressing health concerns that will put you in a situation where you have to be on a really strict diet. Just be kind to yourself and don't get crazy about it. Because there's actually a term for that. I believe it's called orthorexia or something, where you just get too crazy about, nutrition, and then you start just having these rigid rules or whatever. Just eat real food, eat whole foods, eat clean foods, and just stay within a comfort level where you feel like you're not doing major damage to your body. And if you are concerned that you're not sure what real food actually is, which I completely understand because marketing has done a number on people. People still think eggs is a clean food. people still think that they have to have breakfast in the morning. Like, yeah, I eat breakfast in the morning, and that's because I love breakfast. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. I would give up dinner and have breakfast any day of the week. I don't need to have dinner, but breakfast, I love breakfast. So that's my thing. But you don't have to have breakfast, because someone on an advertisement that was trying to sell cereal at some point, did a really good job at marketing breakfast. Everyone thinks they need to have breakfast in the morning, and they think they need to have eggs, and this stuff is just false. It's false. So if you want to unlearn and relearn, right, clear what drains you and what limits you, like the stuff that you don't know that you need to know for your health and your well-being, I have a great challenge that's coming up, and I will remind you guys. But if you want to jump on my email list, just click on the link to get to the blog post, and there's an option on the right side to get on the email list. But there's going to be an Eat Real Food challenge, so you can see what real food looks like, right? What real food is. You'll have snack options, you'll have breakfast options, lunch, dinner, and we're all going to be doing it in my Facebook group. And so you'll have a community, a support system, and it's going to be super fun, totally free. It's a 7-day challenge. And when you leave that challenge, you'll at least leave with some recipes and a game plan for snacks and how you're going to handle these different meals in the new year. So look out for that. I'm super excited about that. Clear what drains you and limits you. I really love this so much because as we move even beyond the nutrition aspect, for me personally, I am, in terms of my business, rawfoodmealplanner.com, the things that I don't enjoy, I'm not doing them anymore. And I'm doing the stuff I love more. I'm honing in on what I love and not only doing more of it, but becoming an expert at it, getting really skillful at it, and just going full force on those things. And so you'll be seeing a lot of that, like definitely weekly episodes. I might even do another show on my Earth Healing Cafe business page, and hopefully I can have the Earth Healing Cafe team involved with that. That's been sitting in my mind since the store existed. And I'm hoping to do that in 2018. So Juan, if you're listening, Bridget, if you're listening, Helena, Akin, the whole EHC crew, let's do something. Candace came our first year of the business and did a workshop on the chakras, or the chakras, you're supposed to call them. And so she's part of the EHC family as well. All of our customer base who have businesses and doing great things out there in Chicago, I would love to do something with that community and just have us be really loud about the great things, the positive energy that is in Chicago and that's happening, because we need to be louder than the negative news that's always being promoted. Because I think negative news just promotes more negative stuff happening that just feeds, negativity feeds negativity. So, nothing is scheduled or planned for that, but hopefully something will come out of it. If you guys are listening, I'm interested in doing that. And, in terms of my social life, building out my network. So, I am collaborating with different brands, different companies. So that's something you're going to see in 2018 are brands that I love and adore and use regularly being a part of the show and showing us different ways how we can support them and move this movement along. Because what's happening is, not only vegans, but people who are looking to clean up their health and eat more plant-based is changing the supermarket. Now it's easier to get almond milk. There was a time where you had to go to a specialty health food store to get almond milk. Now every store has almond milk. Now you can find chia seeds almost everywhere. Your quinoa is everywhere, And so there's a more investment in plant-based meats. There's more investment in just plant-based options in general, like the fake cheeses and all this kind of stuff, because companies are listening to the people, and the people are saying, hey, we are done with this fast food. We want the slow food. We want the healthier food. We want high nutrient density. We want organic. This is important to us. And the louder we are, the more they listen. We vote with our money. We vote with our dollars, right? You know that. I talked about that in the book. And so I want to get those people on board and, bring them on. So one of the shows that I have planned is actually going to be talking about clean water, for example. I'm hoping to get Starkey, Mountain Valley, Berkey water on here, actually explaining to people, okay, so, what kind of water do we drink? How do we, get clean water in our homes, filter our entire home so that we are not dealing with, pharmaceutical drugs in our water and heavy metals, that damage our neurological system, and lead to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. People are getting sick and they don't even know why. And it's not like you go take a hot shower right now and you're sick tomorrow. No, but there's an accumulation of these, toxic things that's in the water that's being absorbed in our skin. So I want to, talk about it with these companies, these brands, and, let more people know that these companies are here, what they have to say, and help us get an understanding on the water situation, which is crucial. We went through this situation with Flint, Michigan, where their water was completely tainted with lead. And then Chicago found 25 public schools that had lead in the school water. So I want to talk about this stuff because it's not just about food. Water is crucial. Water is very important. It makes up the majority of our body. We need to be drinking lots of water, but how can we, drink lots of water if the water is not clean? We need clean water. We need it to be affordable and accessible. Not everyone has access to Starkey and Mountain Valley, right? So what can we do so everyone could get clean water, right? So we're going to be talking about that in 2018. So another point that Candace talked about on the blog, again, the link for that is in the description to this video, but she says, who do you want to be and how do you want to show up in the world? And I really thought about this. Like, I want to make a huge impact in my community. And in order to do that, people need to know I exist. People need to hear this show. We've been talking about some great stuff, some meaningful stuff, some life-changing, life-saving stuff. And so I will be more in the media in 2018. You will see me on TV. You will see me on different blogs. You'll see me on different news shows. And I'm putting it out there. You guys are holding me accountable. This is what I'm going to be doing. I will be more in the media because it's important. What I have to say is important. This message is important. And I want all of you guys to share this video if you agree with me that our health is important. We all need to be talking about it. We all need to be talking about how we could make this information available to everyone, right? Get them all involved in the conversation so that we can help our loved ones avoid some of the health issues that they're going through, like kidney issues, fibroid issues, like different stuff that can be alleviated or prevented with proper nutrition and just proper self-care. So, how do you want to show up in 2018, right? So like I said on the blog, like go through this list that Candace is providing and go through it with a journal and actually think about it. Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up in the world? And that's how I want to show up as a leader and just being more outspoken about this. I'm trying to help people avoid being unclear about how to eat and how to live, so they're not struggling with obesity and all the issues that come with being overweight. Because this is pretty basic, that we should all know, but unfortunately, not all schools are teaching this information. Not even all doctors know this information. So if you work with doctors, please share this show with them, share the books. I'm going to be sharing a lot of books, a lot of resources, because it's important for our doctors to be educated on nutrition, and not all of them are. And so this is going to be really important as the years go on, because more and more people are getting educated, and it's important for people to be bringing these books and bringing these things that they're learning to their doctor so they can have the conversation. So what's another point that really stood out? Focusing on the actions and the process and not the outcome. I love that point, because like I talked about on my personal page today, like I am really working on getting my brain to work like stronger. I want to have better memory. And just, I want to read. One of my goals for 2018 is to read a book every 2 weeks. Last year I had a book a month, or 2 years ago, a book a month, which I've been pretty good about doing the book a month, but I want to do a book every 2 weeks. And in order to do that, I want to be able to retain the information. So I've been like practicing writing with my left hand to kind of help the left hemisphere and right hemisphere connect, and just, get my brain working strong, because there's science to back that up, whatever. So I'm just, experimenting, playing around. So I'm going to do it for like a month, maybe 3, every day to see what it does. But it's really frustrating because I write with my right hand, and I see that with my left hand, things are not perfect. And it's probably going to take me a while. I don't know how long it took me as a child. Maybe if you have kids, tell me in the comments below, how long does it take children to learn how to write properly? Because I want to know how long it's going to take me. I don't know. But I'm just, sinking into the process of just writing and enjoying this journey and seeing what it does to my mind, and see if I could become ambidextrous and all that, instead of like, oh, I need this outcome right now, because I have had a tendency to do this in the past, and all it does is induce anxiety, which is not healthy. And if you've read the book, The Telomere Effect, really good book. I highly recommend everyone read that book. But it shows that chronic stress, which if you're constantly dealing with anxiety, these outcomes that you're not reaching because you're in the process right now, not to say that these outcomes won't come, but it'll just take some time, but you're just stressing yourself out. You're being so hard on yourself. It actually, there's science showing that it affects your DNA. Your telomeres get shorter. Your lifespan gets shorter. And at the end of the day, is it worth it? No, because life is a journey. There's never an end point. Even when you reach your goals, there's going to be new goals that you'll want to reach going forward. So just enjoy the journey so you can enjoy life right now, because life is really short. Tomorrow's not promised for anybody. So I really love that point. And it's great to be constantly reminded. It's like a good mindfulness meditation practice, I feel, for me personally, because I'm very much goal driven. I want to be perfect. I want to be, just like on top all the time, just excelling. But I'm not going to be there overnight. So it takes time, it takes practice, and during that time of honing in on my skill set, which a lot right now that I'm having fun with for me personally is a lot of technology stuff, and networking stuff. So, those things just the journey and the process, just settling into it, enjoying it, and just having fun with life, not being so serious, not stressing out. So yeah, those were my three like biggest takeaways from her points that I just loved. And of course, like I said, she has 6 points. So go click on the link, sit down with a journal, and just go through it and think about how you want 2018 to look like for you. How do you want to be? How do you want to show up? So the next episode of the Raw Food Health Empowerment Show, season 2, starts on January 8th. And if you're looking at your calendar, you're probably like, wait, no, she's messing up because that's a Monday. So yes, we're doing a day change, because like I said, 2018, I need to work on the relationship category and my social life category. Having a brick and mortar business for 7 years, that kind of suffered like a lot. So now that I'm free of that, I need to learn how to have a life again and, be more balanced in that area. And so Sunday is a problem for my family, for me to be tied up. So I'm going to be here with you live on Mondays, starting January 8th. And January 8th, we're going to be talking about intuitive eating. And I'll most likely also be answering some questions and stuff like that. But we talked about a few trending diets that are going to be really popular in 2018. They've already, they've been gaining popularity over the last couple of years. The ketogenic diet, the intermittent fasting. We showed how people are doing that the vegan way. But an important conversation we need to have is intuitive eating. And it kind of goes in line with what I was talking about earlier about clearing what drains you and what limits you, right? Dogmas and stuff. Like on the episode on the ketogenic diet with Liz from Meat Free Keto, we kind of touched on this. Like, you don't have to put yourself in a box. Everyone's body's different. So we want to listen to our bodies and course correct from there. What works for person A is not necessarily going to work for person B. And so you want to read yourself, understand yourself, be in tune with yourself. Don't just assume you're a breakfast person because you've been eating breakfast every morning, and people say, oh, breakfast is, the meal of champions or whatever. No, are you actually hungry? So we're going to dig in. We're going to talk about that more. What else? Yeah, so that's basically everything. I'm just so psyched and excited for 2018. I can't wait. And, so we're going to be on break for like 2 weeks. So, cause Christmas is coming up. There's next Sunday's Christmas Eve. And then after that is New Year's Eve and New Year's. And so you guys, I'll probably pop up and do lives on Instagram here and there, but we're just going to be chilling out, spending time with the family and, getting ready, getting prepared, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, right? So I'm already gathering all my things. So 2018, I'm just hitting the ground running. Okay. And I hope you guys do the same. Please say hi. I see some more people jumped on. Say hi in the comments so I know you're here. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart, so I can see you. But yeah, that's it for me today. And I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome week. Tell me what you think about the Monday show. It's going to be Mondays at 4:30 Pacific, which is 7:30 Eastern. So tell me what you think about that time. Hopefully it works for everybody. And if not, you can always watch the replay. All right. Have a blessed week, you guys. Click on the link, work on your 2018, go on into the year with intention so you can manifest exactly what you want. I do this every year and it's worked for me every year. I look back and I'm like, wow, what a productive year. Like, I had an amazing year. Every year is a great, great year. And that's because before I start the year, I go into it with a plan, with a vision, with an intention. So I highly, highly recommend you do the same. All right. Have a great day.